So listen, man, you gonna hang out there and be chill the whole time, or you need to go in your house? What do you think? What do you think, Sam? Hey, good evening, Kate. Welcome. All right. Well, wow, we got a lot of people showing up. April, hello, welcome. Hey, Paola, nice to see you. Well, Leon, Erica, Michelle, cool. Just give it a few minutes for any last minute arrivals. All right, Sam, it's gonna get warm, buddy. Good boy. You gonna be chill right here? Stay here the whole time? You very still? Yeah. Good boy. For those who may be new, not familiar, be really cool if you could set your device to a speaker view where which is main image on your screen would be, well, me, hi. Kind of gives everybody a little privacy who wants it. And some of what we'll be doing tonight will be yin poses, asana. And so you might like a block or maybe a strap and even a bolster. You know, there's questions about yin in regards to comparison to restorative. Restorative is kind of like we're trying to eliminate or minimize sensation. So we use props to kind of support our physical body, kind of like creating a float tank or sensory deprivation chamber sort of deal. Well, yin is the converse, the flip side. We're looking for sensation. And so we can use props in that aspect as well, to that purpose. Kind of maybe help access tissues. So as you're going into the various poses tonight, just kind of keep in mind, generally in this sort of thing, we're looking for sensation. But, you know, ultimately, you're the one who chooses what you do with this. Oh, there's April. Hi. All right. About just 2 more minutes. Welcome back, Dion. It's nice to see you again. All right. Okay, good. Just to verify that you can hear me, if you do hear me, hold up a hand or a foot or something. Let me know you're out there. Ruby. All right. So it looks like it's about that time. It is a Tuesday evening. You know, about this time on Tuesdays, we get real chill. So tonight we're coming once again. I think it's our second time through the cycle of the 3 yogas, what I call cultivation of joy. We have Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and then tonight is Karma Yoga. So some of it might be familiar. I think we've been through the cycle 1 or 2 times now. And maybe next Tuesday, something special. We will see. But right now, it's here and now. Let's get started. You know what? How about just start in a child's pose? Good. Everybody knows child's pose. Great. Awesome. So just get grounded. And if you come to the more active practices that I teach, we start to talk about intentional, strong, full breath. We'll do this a little different in this practice. Just begin to let your breath move naturally, however that might be. You're not really controlling it. It's just kind of doing how it does. And much like the more active breathing, it requires concentration to just let it move naturally. We learn in jnana yoga through meditation of observation to just witness something, to just watch. And this witnessing, it does build your concentration muscle. So let's just start watching breath move of its own accord. You can apply mindfulness to this. Look at it and then label it. Is it fluid? Is it rich? Is it strained? Is it choppy? And then just let it be. Don't jack with it. Just let it do what it does. No bias, no attachment. With this very simple technique, your mind becomes more quiet. We begin to set aside the stuff we think we know about our practice, ourselves, the guy on the screen making interesting suggestions. We start to find a little distance from schedules and budgets and genders and current events and all this stuff. We're not really getting rid of it, we're just detaching from it, making a little space. A long, long time ago, it was the same word used for breath and spirits. And we find that in Sanskrit, the prana. We do so many things with this prana. Like right now, we shift into yoga mode, with concentration. We go into poses. We can use breath to help us indulge in the pose, soften, extend, ground. The motion and action of lungs kind of guide us in what to do with body. Inhales length, exhales contract. And every time you find your attention slipping away, you just come on back to this breath. It's still here. It's always with you. Like an old friend. And then the final consideration, I'll offer some ideas, suggestions. You might find that you don't agree with some of them. Some of them might not work for your body, might not work for your belief system. And if that's the case, you can modify, you can discard, and just bypass all the drama, right? Yeah. So here's a first suggestion. With your arms out in front of you and palms down, you tuck your toes under and press to to an upside down V. Butt goes up, head stays down, it's down dog. You know, if you got a wrist issue or a hand issue, how about just come to a table and let's remove any drama there, right? Yeah, so either down dog or table, either way is cool. Just take your right leg, extend it behind you, and then bring it forward and to a pigeon. Right knee towards right wrist, right foot towards left wrist, and then just use your left foot to start walking your left knee back, finding length in the top of your left thigh. We'll stay up on our palms for just a moment as we dial into the right hip and left thigh. A final bit of adjustment, you can move your right foot closer to your left hip to tone down a little. But if you're not feeling it, you need some sensation, you can bring your right foot up towards the front of the mat. Your knee, your hip, it'll tell you when you find that place of moderation. But once you're there, how about come down to forearms? Pull ribs forward, maybe beyond your right shin, and maybe you come all the way down to your chest. Maybe not. Just take a moment to investigate, to find where your spot is. That pose is just custom built for you. Good. When we yin pose, we have 3 things to do, and that's all. The first one is finding your edge. That's that spot you just discovered, a place of moderation. The second thing, you soften around the edge. Remember, we talked about using breath. You know, exhales can kind of melt you like butter right over that edge, just all around. And third thing is 2 parts, time and stillness. Stillness means no fidgeting, no shifting, no moving, no nose scratching, scalp itching, none of that. If sensation is too much, if we need for safety to make a movement, of course. But other than that, just being still. And time is what allows the medicine of yin to do what it does. You know, it takes 90 to 120 seconds, a minute and a half to 2 minutes to go through a phase shift in your body where you're no longer only stretching muscle, but we're getting into meridian tissues. In Western science, it's called extracellular matrix or connective tissue. Western part of the world, these are the tissues that kind of hold you together, let muscles and bones work together. Eastern tradition, it's meridian tissue, where the intelligence of your body, the prana, spirit, where it travels, resides. So yeah, after a couple minutes, you're going to be touching your soul. It's pretty cool. It might be like every 1.3 seconds that you find your mind drifting. That's pretty normal. There's no problem. You just go back to watching natural breath. You look at it, you label it, and then leave it be. Just watch it. kind of like watching a stream roll by. The final few moments of this position, just allow yourself to be still. Things might get a little rowdy. It doesn't mean you have to react. You can just reflect, observe, create that space, that distance. There's just a slight roll to the right for a moment. Come leaning into outer right thigh. Inner left leg touches the mat. Let's just take a couple beats here, just a few moments, lingering in a little tiny bit of that stretch. Yeah, nice. Now, without too much extra motion, just come up to sitting upright and swing your long left leg around front of you so that your right foot, sole of it, is tucked into your inner left thigh. Your left heel is down, your left toes are up. You might reach back and move some stuff aside, grounding sit bones. And just reach up and lengthen yourself out, and then let an exhale fold you forward towards your left thigh. And it's kind of a natural tendency to want to grab onto something and pull into this thing. Maybe one little pull is cool, but I thought let go and just melt into this thing. Just let gravity do the work for you. As you turn all your attention to breath and sensation. With your mind's eye, take the vision of that mind's eye to the physical part of your body where you're feeling most dynamic aspect of sensation. I don't know where that is. It could be a right hip or right knee. It could be a left glute or hamstring. It could be a hand or a neck. Most dynamic sensation. Look at that. If you were to give it a color, what color would that sensation be? Would it be a hot and spicy red, a warm, toasty orange, maybe a cold blue or a sharp yellow. And with breath just moving seamlessly, effortlessly. Just dwell in that observation of that sensation. If you're folded forward, just no hurries or worries. Come sit upright. And then maybe extend your right leg straight forward next to your left leg. Yeah, just let it sit still for a moment. Notice a shifting kind of phase in your right leg. Now, again, bending right knee, but this time let's bring the right heel ankle to the outside of your right hip. It's just a half saddle or half hero. You're just bringing your inner right ankle to your outer right hip. Now you might find that your right hip just popped up off the mat when you did that. You know that's okay. You could slide something under your left sit bone, left seat. And it's a deep knee bend. You might be just fine upright, right where you're at. You may wish to lean back in the palms or forearms. There might even be a very few of you that wish to go all the way supine to your back. But let's not do that unless you're not feeling anything. We don't go there just because we think we must. We go there just to access sensation. So that color you were feeling a moment ago, that sensation might have moved to a knee, an ankle. Bring your attention to it and just ask yourself, what is that sensation? What does it sound like? Like the droning hum of a fan, or maybe a clanging of a bell. You know, it doesn't really matter what that sound is. It's more about noticing it, observing it, seeing it, looking at it, hearing it. Every breath, every moment, every time you're coming back to this breath, you're just opening up a little bit more space between you and all this stuff, the thoughts. If you found necessary to go to your back, how about come upright, seated upright, join those who are there. And gently release your right leg, bring it back out front. One more time out front. Just extend it right along your left leg. And take a beat, maybe 2 beats, to notice any shifting sense in your leg, your hip, your knee. Can you feel that stretch traveling? And just the last time on this leg, you just bend your right knee, set your right ankle on top of your left knee, and then bend your left knee and bring your left ankle underneath your right knee. You're just stacking your shins like a couple fire logs. But you know what? Your right knee might be popped up in the air, and if so, there's no reason to fret. That's okay. And if it's way up in the air and just in the way of things, how about just cross your legs with right shin in front of left shin? There's no reason to worry or fret. There's always a spot to go to. It's kind of settle into that. And then again, reach your arms up, find length and height, little separation. Let an exhale, bring your torso forward, arms forward, hands forward, gently dipping into your deep right hip. Oh, how about that? It's just nice. Yeah. Like lengthen and contracting, melting, releasing. Now we've certainly had enough time in this pose to do the three things: find edge, melt around edge, become still. So how about mind's eye? Again, scanning for that sensation. You know, the one you were listening to a moment ago. Where's it at now? The hip, the knee. It might just still be in the neck. I don't know. But if it had a flavor, what would that be? Sweet like strawberry? Spicy like Tabasco? Pungent like garlic, onion? I don't know. Maybe it tastes like the top of a 9-volt battery. If that's the case, make an adjustment. So deep into hip, it would not be surprising you experience some agitation, boredom, strong desire to fidget, perhaps like a nose itch appears, maybe an itch on the outer edge of your foot. Well, what happens when we scratch an itch? Immediate satisfaction, right? If we go a little deeper, what happens? Abrasion to skin. We cut our skin with our fingernails. It might be microscopic, but we still tear our skin. So for that immediate gratification, we've done a little damage. And what happens if we just be still? What happens to the itch? Doesn't it eventually just move on? And of course, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. The world would be a different place, less war, climate change, rest of vision. But no, not everybody does it because it's difficult, challenging. So you choose if you do or don't do. It's up to you. This last minutes of this particular spot, quietly to yourself, perhaps make a list of all those you love. Just quietly to yourself. Good. Come on upright. Walking, hands back, torso comes up. You can put your hands on the mat there in front of you. Just roll forward a little, release your legs so you're back in the tabletop position. And then there's some hip circles around clockwise and counterclockwise. Just big circles, little circles, your personal circles. It just kind of feels nice. Yeah. Good. Now settle back to a neutral table and you have options. Got a wrist or a hand bothering you, probably stay table. But if not, maybe push up to a down dog. Either way is cool. And then just extend your left leg back behind you. And then draw it forward, bringing left knee towards left wrist, left ankle towards right wrist, pigeon pose. And use the toes of your right foot to walk your right knee back, to lengthen your right thigh. The location of your left foot is going to dictate how much sensation in left hip and knee. So just make some adjustments that are appropriate to your personal needs there. And once you've got that dialed in, maybe it's okay to come down to forearms. It might even be a good idea to draw your ribs forward beyond your shin and come all the way down flat. It's personal, it's up to you. Try to stay up on top of your right thigh. I know it's kind of tendency to roll one way or the other. This should stay centered. And soften. Be still. You know that sensation you were tasting a little while ago? That mind's eye of yours. See where that moved to. Where is it at now? Maybe deep in left glute, like piriformis, left knee, maybe right thigh. But once you find the most dynamic area of sensation, I wonder, does it have a particular aroma? roads and sawdust, pine tree. I know. Old library. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what that aroma is. It's just that maybe you can notice it and observe it and where it's residing at in the physical body. Same situation. If fidgets arise, just go back to breath. And you can fidget if you choose to. But how about fidget with the conscious awareness of what you're doing? Doing because you chose to do, not because it's mindless reaction, right? Just walk hands back as we bring chest back up. Take a little roll to the left, to the outer left thigh, inner right leg. We're just 2 beats here, just 2 beats. Not quite a rebound, not quite a release. It's just a lingering. And then sit upright with your left knee remaining bent. Swing long right leg around front. The sole of your left foot goes to the inner right thigh. Settle your seat. All reaching up just lengthens things, lifting ribs away from pelvis long, and then you just forward folding over your right leg. Maybe not grabbing and pulling and pursuing into this, but just melting and surrendering into it. Just going with the flow. Very calm. The same cycle. Mind drifts. Maybe you like me, every second or two it drifts. Maybe you've been practicing a long time and it stays still for a whole 5 seconds. Whatever, it's just back to breath, always coming back. Continuing to build the strength of observation, focused concentration, strengthening your ability to place your attention where you want it to be and keep it there. The spaces that you're opening allow for that observation to see, to look close enough, like noticing with the itch, the scratching. There's something beyond that instant gratification. And when we can see, we have light, we have the information, and we can make informed decisions. We become less and less reactive. The consciousness shifts. All right, come on upright. Just take your time. You can extend your left leg forward alongside of your right leg. Just let it sit still for a moment. Notice the movement of that stretch. Developing awareness of your prana, your energy. You could just bend your left knee again, but let's bring your left ankle or heel to the outside of your left hip. So yeah, there's just maybe inner ankle or maybe inner left heel. You just kind of have it snug up against your outer left hip. And it's just a half a hero or a half a saddle. We're just sitting here in half of a deep knee bend. And if it's appropriate, you kind of lean back. And maybe go supine. It's up to you. Up to your knee. Up to what your partner tells you. The practice of observation, you know what it is. You're just gathering information. Continue to see things. You're going to notice, so this is going on. You can ask. This thought pattern, this behavior, this action, what is it feeding? What type of quality is it feeding? A benevolent quality or a malevolent quality? You can make a choice. If it's feeding a quality that you want to strengthen, well, keep on feeding. But perhaps it's feeding a quality that you would rather eradicate. Well, stop feeding it. we all know, law of nature. That which you feed grows stronger. That which you starve atrophies and goes away, grows weaker. If you chose to go to your back, come on back upright. Take it easy. There's no hurry. Yeah. Just release the bend of your left knee. Bring your left leg once again out front, long, line side by side with your right leg. Do you feel that shift, that movement of the stretch? Well, what the heck is that, right? How about one last time? Bend left knee, set your left ankle on top of your right knee. And then bend right knee, bring your right ankle underneath your left knee. And we already know that the knee is way up in the air. It's not a big deal. You can hang out with it in the air, or you could just cross your left shin in front of your right shin. That's pretty cool either way. Find your spot, settle into it, and then lengthen. Fingertips are going to tickle that ceiling up there, reaching. And you're just hinging forward. Your torso comes forward, 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 forward as you dip into your left hip. Oh my goodness. This particular shape can be a very, very dynamic experience in your hip. So it should really be no surprise that things arise, memories, experiences. And if they do, what a wonderful opportunity to practice observing patiently, to practice not attaching, the practice of surrender. You just let the itch kind of fade off on its own. And at some point, these thoughts, these impulses, they do become weaker. They have less say in the matter. They kind of start losing their vote. You can just kind of look at them and go, oh, hey, it's you again. I ain't seen you in a while. Would you like some chai? And a little while back, we listed all those who we love. Maybe, maybe on the list was a pet, family member, friend, romantic partner, maybe associate. But I wonder, at what point on that list did you name yourself? Hmm. Yeah, now this easy. Come on back up, right? And this time, release your legs out in front of you and perhaps with your palms, I don't know, about 30 centimeters behind your hips. Just lean back into your palms if that feels okay. Adjust if not. Bend your knees with feet flat and as wide as your mat. Just let the knees go left and right. Wide windshield wipers. Just let them move back and forth. You know, kind of like we did those big hip circles in a table. It's the same but different. We spent a lot of time in hips and knees tonight. So just let the energy move now. Now that you're warmed up and prepared, please come to seated position of your choice. Well, you got a lot of options. Something comfortable that you can be still in for, I don't know, about 10 minutes? Yeah, about 10 minutes. You can do like a heart mudra if you like. Tuck the tip of your index finger to the base of your thumb, both hands, and then tips of your middle and ring fingers touch the tips of your thumb. Pinkies just sort of go out and do what they do. Then put the back of your hands on your knees, thighs, whatever. Lengthen your spine so it's erect. Lift the back of your skull so that your neck is also erect. Allow your eyelids to be heavy. They might not close all the way, but just heavy. naturally. This is our third meditation in the series. This is Karma Yoga. Karma is Bhakti Yoga's bride. It's equal and opposite partner. Karma Yoga is the yoga of action, the yoga of selfless service. Karma Yoga is the yoga of uncompromising generosity and service to others. When we practice by the concentration on compassion, so just a moment of remembering your last concentration of gratitude. It might have been a week ago, it might have been an hour ago. Just bring to heart your gratitude. Allow it to swell. You remember the bittersweet tears that came with gratitude. Yeah. Now imagine the rest of the world, all other beings, encompassed in healing light. Imagine all that you're grateful for, giving to all other beings, with no mind of result, success, failure, just giving, uncompromised giving, unmitigated giving. Some people practice this with visualization. Some practice with words, in other words, prayers, which is just another expression of desire. But consider the angry person, their scowl turning to a smile, or the hungry person being fed a meal, the lonely person experiencing a warm embrace. Let that full heart of yours begin to just bleed compassion. This is not about you directly. This is about the uplifting of all other beings. This is about me taking just a few minutes out of my day to focus everything I can on joy, freedom, well-being of all other beings. Not picking and choosing, just everybody. Give, give, give. This is about a practice to shift the consciousness of this world. This world that we're in is nothing more than the consciousness which dwells in it. And like the famous philosopher said, if you want to make the world a better place, take a look in the mirror and begin to change there. Be the change that you wish to see. folks will not do this, not even once in their life. Thus, the state of this world. But you have choice. You can consciously choose to let your heart bleed with compassion. Shift your consciousness. Forgive without compromise. I give to you a mudra, loka, samasta, sukino, bhavantu. May all sentient beings be happy and free. Loka, samasta, sukino, bhavantu. Loka, samasta, sukino, bhavantu. May all sentient beings be happy and free. Remain here in your heart space, breathing in compassion, just as long as you please. As I leave, I give to each of you my gratitude, and I give to you my love.